watching our CBSN Originals Trophy Hunting, Killing or Conservation. The Humane Society argues there's no need to kill animals in order to sustain them. Our Adam Yamaguchi talked to the Society's CEO and President, Kitty Block.
I can't see any argument that supports it. Putting a price tag on any animal's head diminishes the value of that animal. There's no other way to look at it. You can set up these places and help them thrive through ecotourism, paying dollars to help see these animals stay in the wild, stay in places, maintaining the areas around it. That's where tourism dollars can go. But the idea that killing an animal is the way to sustain them, it's a flawed argument, and it will always jeopardize that animal as long as their parts are valued to some, more than the living animal. We've put a price tag on that animal's head. It's dangerous. It's not smart. And trophy hunting has led to the evisceration of so many imperiled animals. It is for profit. It's driven in a way that's not for the health of the animals. It's not silent. It's not science-based. It's profit and it's trophies.
What do you make of the argument that if it pays, it stays? That's something that we heard quite a bit of.
Sure. Well, I'd say that argument can work if it's applied to the right thing. Ecotourism pays. Ecotourism should stay. We surveyed something like 8 of the African nations where they do trophy hunting. And what we found was a viable, booming industry, $17 billion. Only 1% of that is from trophy hunting. The rest is ecotourism.
There's a certain, undeniability about the fact that where we were seeing wildlife thrive. If the goal is to create and preserve areas where wildlife can thrive, does it really matter what helps fund that? If it's trophy hunting, if it's ecotourism, whatever it is, if it's creating these environments, isn't that a win for everybody?
Well, the first point is it really creating these environments? Is that really the only thing, and is it really, what is the sustainable thing to protect these areas and protect wildlife? That's the question. And it does matter where the money comes from, if you're even assuming the money really generates all of this.
How responsible are trophy hunters to the decimation of species, particularly of species in danger around the world?
Right. Well, there are a number of incidents and reported cases we can give you when there's pressure on governments to give more permits to trophy hunters because they see this as an exchange of dollars. They usually always give more. There's the science doesn't always come first. It goes against the precautionary principle where you're trying to give the benefit to the imperiled species. We have a lot of other threats against animals. We've got climate change. I mean, there's the biodiversity report came out. There is poaching. There's human encroachment. Trophy hunting, on top of it, is really causing harm, and it's because of the pressure and the powerful lobby of this industry.
One of the arguments that was made was a lone hunter coming in for 2 weeks can bring in $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, and minimally disturb the environment. Whereas a busload of tourists is highly disruptive and per head brings in less money. Do you buy that?
No, I don't, because the numbers are there. Ecotourism brings in so much more money than trophy hunting. It just does. You can look at the data, you can look at the dollars. The lion scientists and the others that we've worked with said the money that comes from trophy hunters is not enough to help these populations. It is not enough. Ecotourism is.
What role do you think social media plays in all of this?
It's been amazing to watch this. I mean, hunters in the past used to, go to the safari club and go to other places and show their trophies and brag about them in a community that people are all supportive. Well, with social media, as you've probably seen, when someone posts, raising their gun and cheers with a giraffe, wrapped around the ground, it's not met with a great receptivity. And I think it's sort of a wake-up call to trophy hunters that I think in the past, before social media, they really were celebrating and being celebrated in their communities. Maybe they thought the rest of the world was going to celebrate with them, but what they're finding is they're not. And people are disgusted with these pictures and posts of, a mother elephant and her baby, and the most recent one I saw.
So social media has, in your eyes, woken people up to...
Absolutely. It seems now it's sort of out, it's been taken, it's sort of been put in the daylight and taken out of their communities that all celebrated each other who did this. It's exposed it, absolutely. And I think I think a lot of trophy hunters have been surprised with the negative response.
The natural world is savage. The death of an animal, whether at the hands of a human or another animal, is difficult and painful to watch. There are some animals that need to be culled or managed. So what's so bad about killing them if it's going to help bring in some dollars?
So that assumes that trophy hunters are like the natural world, where, but that's the exact opposite. So when other animals hunt, they hunt the weakest of the pack. They go after the easy kill. They're not looking for the one with the biggest tusks or the darkest mane. They're going after an easy meal. What that does is that continues, that's natural selection. But trophy hunters flips it on its head. They're going after the strongest, the best, the ones that should genetically reproduce. Cecil the lion, others, they're the ones that are targeted by hunters because of their prize features. The fact that these make beautiful wall hangings. The skinniest, the scrawniest, the sickest one, they're not hanging up in their dens. It's the most prized animals. And these are exactly the animals that you should not be taking out of the genetic pool.
What is the biggest threat to wildlife today?
It's a whole host of things. Of course, climate change, biodiversity, human encroachment. But what trophy hunting does is it just adds on top of these imperiled animals, and sometimes it can bring them to the tipping point. It's almost impossible. I mean, there's things that we can do for climate change, and we need to start doing them. Their habitat encroachment, that's a hard one to solve. Trophy hunting, that's a lot easier. That is the one that we actually can do something about today if we wanted to help the animals.
Coming up, a hunting consultant shares how she helps people go trophy hunting and talks about the negative reactions that she gets. You're streaming CBSN, CBS News, always on.